Welcome to the Alcohol Reset, the podcast that helps you reset your habits, health, and relationship with alcohol without judgment or extremes. If you're looking to cut back, take a break, or just understand how drinking can affect your body and mind, you're in the right place. Each episode brings you science-backed insights on neuroscience, nutrition, and habit change to help you feel better, sleep deeper, and take control on your terms. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, best-selling author, neuroscience enthusiast, and habit change expert. I've helped thousands through my book and podcast to rethink their drinking, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Let's get started. All right, let's get straight into it. Remember back in the day, maybe college, maybe your 20s, you could maybe have a few too many drinks, get a questionable amount of sleep, and somehow the next day you were upright, not exactly feeling like $1,000,000, but you were functional. You get through the day. Okay, now, fast forward a bit. Sometimes it feels like just one glass of wine, maybe 2 beers, and the next morning you feel like you wrestled a bear and lost badly. If that sounds even vaguely familiar, let me tell you, you are definitely not alone. And here's a kicker. It's not just you imagining it. It's not you just getting, soft. There's actual science behind why shaking up a night out gets so much harder as we clock up the years. So, today's focus. We're going to try and crack the code. Why does recovering from alcohol seem to take longer, feel rougher the older we get? We'll look at the key physiological shifts happening in your body. And, maybe more importantly, figure out some real actionable strategies to make those mornings after feel less like the end of days. We're going to touch on why your body now processes alcohol kind of like it's wading through treacle, how your brain gets surprisingly sensitive to it all, why background inflammation might be playing a bigger role than you think, how alcohol messes with your sleep even if you think you slept enough, why you seem to get dehydrated way faster, and those wild blood sugar swings. Yeah, we'll talk about those too. Ready to get into it. First stop, the engine room. Your liver used to be this tireless filtering machine, right? Breaking down booze like a champ. But as the years go by, your liver, bless it, it just doesn't quite have that same horsepower. It processes alcohol slower. Simple as that. And the interesting part, slower processing means the alcohol, and importantly, its toxic byproducts, they hang around in your system for longer. And guess what that means? Yep. Hangovers that feel like they've signed a lease and moved in. But it's not just the liver slowing down a bit. Let's talk command central. Your brain. Think about it like this. Alcohol disrupts your brain's communication system, those chemical messages, neurotransmitters. When you were younger, your brain was maybe more resilient. It could sort of bounce back quickly from that disruption. But as we age, the brain seems to become a bit more, sensitive to that chemical chaos alcohol creates, this increased sensitivity. It could explain that awful next day brain fog, or that feeling of anxiety. It just creeps up on you. Or just generally feeling awful, like your brain's sending you a very polite but firm email saying, hey, could we maybe not do that again? Okay, now let's touch on something that often increases with age anyway, inflammation. Picture it like a sort of low-grade static humming in the background of your body. Now add alcohol to the mix. It's like turning the volume dial on that static way, way up. It's fascinating how this shows up, right? You might notice, puffy your fingers, achy joints for no reason, maybe that puffy face looking back in the mirror. That's your body's inflammatory response kicking into high gear. It's basically releasing compounds that shout, we are not happy about this, loudly. And speaking of not feeling happy, sleep. Oh boy. You might think, hey, I passed out, I got my 8 hours. But alcohol is super sneaky when it comes to sleep quality. It particularly messes with the deep restorative stages of sleep. The REM sleep your body absolutely needs to repair itself. So even if you are technically unconscious for a decent amount of time, you could wake up feeling completely drained. Like you didn't know sleep at all. Your body went through the motions maybe, but that crucial recovery work, it just didn't happen properly. Yeah, then there's hydration or the distinct lack of it. Remember when you could drink whatever and maybe feel okay? Well, older bodies generally don't hold on to water quite as efficiently. It's just a fact of aging. Now combine that with alcohol's well-known diuretic effect, its talent for making you lose fluids, and boom, you've got the perfect recipe for that pounding headache the next day. That dizzy, room-spinning feeling, that thirst that feels like you licked a desert floor, dehydration deluxe. And finally, this side about the sugar roller coaster. This one's biggie. Alcohol can send your blood sugar levels on a real journey, first up and way down. And as we age, our bodies often have a harder time managing these swings. They become more extreme. So what does that feel like? Shakiness, maybe? Irritability? Feeling something ravenous for all the carbs in the world. That's your body scrambling to find its balance after the alcohol-induced sugar chaos. The highs, than the crash. So, yeah, there you have it. It's not just a feeling, it's not a myth. There's solid physiological reasons why hangovers hit harder as we get older. Your liver isn't quite as speedy, your brain's more sensitive, those neurotransmitters get thrown off balance easier, there's likely more baseline inflammation, your sleep quality takes a nosedive, you dehydrate faster, your blood sugar goes haywire. But look, it's not all doom and gloom, honestly. Understanding why it's happening is genuinely the first crucial step. It helps us figure out how to maybe handle things a bit differently, how to bounce back smarter. Okay, let's wrap this up. Bring it home. The main point here isn't necessarily never drink again, not unless that's your choice, of course. It's more about understanding that your amazing body changes over time, and that's okay. It means we need to adjust how we approach things, including alcohol. It's about maybe prioritizing a little more self-care, listening to the signals your body is sending, instead of just trying to power through like we might have done, years ago. So, quick recap on the why. The slightly slower liver, the touchier brain chemistry, that increased inflammation baseline, sleep getting disrupted faster, dehydration kicking in, and those wilder blood sugar fluctuations. Got it. But the really good news, is you can absolutely manage this better. Bounce back smarter. Think about some simple stuff. Hydration. Seriously, water before, water during, water after. Make it your mantra. Try to eat real nutritious food. Maybe skip the greasy late night stuff if you can manage it. Gives your body good fuel. Here's a practical one. Try stopping drinking a good few hours before you actually plan to go to sleep. Gives your body a chance to process some of it first. Gentle movement the next day. Honestly, just a walk outside can make a huge difference. Nothing crazy. And cut yourself some slack. Stressing about feeling rough doesn't help. Be kind to yourself. And maybe the most important, practice mindful pacing. Think slower sips. Maybe more days between drinking days. Knowing your actual limits now, not the limits you had 10 years ago. Oh, and on the nutrition side, it's worth knowing alcohol could deplete key nutrients, especially things like vitamin B1. It's thiamine, which is really important for energy and helping clear alcohol byproducts. And vitamin B12, crucial for nerve function, keeping your head feeling clear. So making sure you're generally well nourished can definitely support your recovery systems. Right, here's a final thought to leave you with. Getting older doesn't automatically mean giving up things you enjoy. Not at all. It just means treating this incredible vehicle, your body, with a bit more respect, a bit more understanding. Think of it like owning a classic car, maybe a luxury vehicle. As it gets older, it might need higher quality fuel, more regular maintenance, maybe drive it a little more carefully. But if you give it that care, it can still take you on plenty of fantastic journeys. So here's to figuring out how to bounce back smarter, treating our bodies well, and still enjoying the ride. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you got something out of this, do me a quick favor, leave a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. It helps keep the show going and would mean the world to me. Got ideas, comments, or questions? Shoot me an email at mike@trycloud9.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're looking for extra support, check out Cloud9, makers of Daily Restore, a once-a-day supplement to support your body from alcohol's effects, and Rise and Unwind AM/PM, a 24-hour combo to curb cravings, balance mood, and improve sleep when taking a break. Go to trycloud9.com and use the code PODCAST to save 15% on your next order. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.